Welcome to the coordination training video of the top 5 ways to run faster. In this video, you will learn the definition of coordination training in regards to speed development. You will also learn how to teach the skills of the drive phase and the max velocity phase of sprinting. By using this step-by-step approach, your athletes will be able to learn the technique of sprinting at a very fast rate. So let's go ahead right now and look at the definition of coordination training. So what is coordination training? Coordination training is the ability to accurately and efficiently move the body and its parts in order to accomplish some type of task. So looking at this definition, the ability to accurately and efficiently move the body. So when you look at the word accurately, that tells you that there is a correct way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. When you look at efficiently, that means that, again, there's a wrong and a right way to do it, and there's a way that's efficient, meaning that we want to do it the easiest way, or the basically the easiest way to move the body, all right, and its body parts in order to accomplish some type of task. So the next question is, what is the task that we're trying to teach? And the task that we're trying to teach is sprinting. So if you're learning how to sprint, there's a right way, and there's an easy or a hard way to do things. Okay, so remember, accurately, that means a correct way, correct way to do things. I can draw this up. A correct way to do things, and then when we look at efficiently, there's an easy way. Okay, so we have to learn how to do things the easy way and not to do things the hard way, and that's the skills that we're trying to teach our athletes right now. Okay, so I want everybody to understand the definition of coordination training, and it's the ability to accurately and efficiently move the body and its parts in order to accomplish some type of task. And our task is sprinting, so we have to learn how to sprint correct, and we gotta learn how to sprint so that it is very easy for our athletes to run. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at what are the skills of sprinting. So you have 3 basic skills. The first skill is proper arm mechanics. So we're looking at proper arm action. There's a certain way that our arms should be moving. Our arms shouldn't be going from side to side, going all crazy. It shouldn't, there's a correct way to do it and there's an easy way to do it. So we have to learn these skills and learn how to teach those skills. So number 2, proper acceleration mechanics. We have to learn how to start. If we don't know how to start, we're gonna set up our race or our sprint wrong. Okay, and we have to do things the right way. So we have to learn how to properly accelerate our bodies to get to top speed. And that brings up number 3, proper max velocity mechanics. So once we get to top speed, we have to learn how to maintain that top speed, and how to run at top speed mechanics. So in a sense, we have to learn how to have our arms move correctly. We have to learn how to get our bodies to a top speed, and once we get to that top speed, we have to learn how to run when we at that top speed, because there are different ways that you have to run from an acceleration and at the max velocity phases. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up this question here. How do we teach these skills of sprinting? Alright, so the first skill that we need to learn is proper arm action mechanics. So the first thing with our arms, we're going to start with our hands. Okay, and the cue that I use, I tell my athletes to take their thumbs and they should move from cheek to cheek. Alright, so I use this cue cheek to cheek because it's very easy for my athletes to understand, because they're basically the same word. Okay, so the thumb should go from the cheek that's on your face to the cheek that's on your butt. Okay, the butt cheek. That's kind of funny. Alright, but anyway, this being silly. But guys, it goes from cheek to cheek, and the kids actually get a kick out of that because they understand it. So it's not necessarily about if we understand it so well, but let's get an understanding of take the thumbs that's on your hands and they go from cheek to cheek. Alright, so the second skill of proper arm action, the elbow should be bent at 90 degrees during front side mechanics with a maximum angle of 120 degrees in backside mechanics. So again, we already hit on what front side mechanics are, and we already hit on backside mechanics in the speed development video. So if you have questions about that, just go ahead and look at it, and I'll actually show you a little bit right now. Let's draw you a stick man here. Okay, so we got our guy here, and let's talk about front side mechanics. Remember, let's do the back side here, and we go plantar flexion. Okay, 90 degrees on the front side, and we're looking at 120 on his backside elbow. Okay, let's get a little smiley face. That's our guy. Do. Okay, so on the front side, this is the front side mechanics, and this is the back side mechanics. Remember, we're going to divide this guy in half here. Divide this guy in half, and back side, you got front side. On the front side elbow, it should be at 90 degrees, and actually on the back side, it can be from 90 to 120 degrees. Okay, so it can open up just a little bit, but it's still about 90 to 90. But just looking at film and whatnot on your athletes, you'll see. But it's actually okay for it to be 120 degrees according to the USA Track and Field board. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on and look at number 3, which is the arm should not cross the midline of the torso unless running in the curve. Okay, so if you're just training to run for a 40, you don't have to worry about the curve. But for better understanding, the midline of the body, if you have a guy's torso, let's say this is the torso, this is the shoulders. I guess I just feel like drawing today. All right, it's their torso. The hands should not cross the midline of the body. Okay, those arms should not go across the midline of the body. So that's what that means. Okay, so they should go from cheek to cheek, cheek to butt cheek, and they should never cross the midline of the body. So they should not go across the body. And the reason for this is if I'm running across my midline, if my arms are going across my midline, that's going to cause my torso to twist going back and forth. So any extra movement, that's extra energy that you're using when you're trying to run, and we're trying to be efficient. We're trying to run easily. So to run efficient, we have to keep our hands our hands away from our midline, and our midline is right here, this line that's in the middle here. Okay, so we never want to cross because we don't want our athletes twisting. We're trying to go forward and not go side to side. So it makes no sense to have our athletes running with their arms going across their body. So when you see your athletes doing this, you have to show them and help them and actually teach them how to make those corrections. So looking at, since we know that we can't cross our arms, cross our midline, and we can't, and our elbow should be at 90 to 120 degrees on the backside and front side mechanics, and the hands go cheek to cheek, how do we teach our athletes to do this in a fun way? And that's in the skill to do this. Alright, so there's one drill that I do. I use two, but it's basic, and pretty much you may have seen this before, but it's pretty easy. But it's called butt bumpers. Alright, and so I'm gonna go ahead and show you what butt bumpers look like, and it's pretty simple and it works every time, and it teaches the skill of proper arm action. Alright, so here's a butt bumper drill, and let me first explain what I was talking about. So this is our midline, and you notice her hands should never cross the midline of this body. Let's draw a better line than that. Alright, see if I can get better. There you go. A little straight line here. It's a little crooked. But now, you never want your hands to cross over this midline here. Alright, and her thumbs are right here, and that's her cheek, and her other thumb is right here at her other cheek. Remember, you're just going to change those hands, go cheek to cheek, and it's butt bumpers. Now, if you do this drill right, your butt will actually bounce on the ground, because if you're not doing it right, then obviously you won't bounce on the ground. Now, some of the key components about this is having a proud chest. So roll your chest out, and you'll see it in the next slide from the side view. But you just want to drive those elbows back, the hands down, and elbows back hard. The same elastic energy that's in your ankles is in your joints too, and at the shoulder. So meaning the harder that you throw your elbows back, the more it was sling forward. All right. So if you don't understand elastic energy, you will in some of the other videos. But elastic energy is basically when you put tension on the joint, and it reflexes, and it actually snaps back together at a faster rate than you can by actually trying to use your muscles and snap it back or whatnot. But I'll explain that later on. So let me show you exactly how it looks, the butt bumper. All right. So in the first phase, all you would do is give your athletes a command. You say switch, and they'll change their hands one time. All right. And after maybe 10 different repetitions, you tell them to go, and that's when they run their arms as fast as possible, and you see that you actually your butt bounce on the ground if they're doing it properly. Remember, shoulders are gonna stay proud, elbows driving straight back, going cheek to cheek, and you see her hips are coming off the ground. Now we go to side angle, you'll see it better, and drive the elbows back, thumbs go cheek to cheek, and abs are tight, and she's gonna run them in a second here. And she's running, and you see she's bouncing. This drill is a great drill to teach arm action. Remember, elbows stay bent at 90 degrees. You drive those elbows back, and the coaching cue for this is tell your athletes to drive those elbows back hard, violently, okay, aggressively, whatever cue. Just make sure that they're driving them back hard, and that will cause the actual hips to raise off the ground. Because remember, our arms are the gas pedal. Whatever our arms do, the engine's going to turn, and when our core and our engine turn, the feet are going to turn. So it starts with the arms. If we have lazy arms, then you got a slow car, and everybody wants a fast car, and the car is the same thing as a body. But remember, you got to press that gas, and the gas pedal is the arms when it comes to sprinting. So if you got lazy arms, I say it again, if you got lazy arms, your legs will not be moving fast. All right. Now remember, elbow straight back, chest is proud, chin is neutral, and we are driving it back, and that's the butt bumper. All you would do is tell them, say switch, 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 and I think she says go on the next one here, and I say go right there, and she's driving it straight back down, and that's the butt bumper drill. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Alright, so now that we understand the proper arm action and how to teach proper arm action mechanics, let's go ahead and look at how to teach acceleration mechanics. So there are four different drills, or four different drills that I use to teach the skill of acceleration, and they go in progression in the same manner. So there are four different things. You have the wall drill, that's our stationary drill, and then we go to partner pushes, which is gonna basically take what you learned from the wall drill into an actual movement of from being non-movement to moving for partner, and then you're gonna go and do short hill sprints. All right. Once you learn all three of these different drills, then we can go ahead and start to do resistance sprints. All right. So let's go over and look at how to teach these drills, and let's learn what these drills are and how to actually teach these drills, and how to do them, how to do each drill correctly, because there are a lot of people who may recognize these drills, but they may not be teaching them the correct way, rather. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at them, and let's go from there and learn how to teach these skills so our athletes can run fast and they can learn these skills. Alright, so this exercise right here is called the wall drill, and it's going to teach us how to accelerate and how to get our bodies moving and get ourselves in the right position so that we're running, that we're actually starting our races with the proper running mechanics for acceleration. So this is the first drill that I teach everyone when they first come out. I don't care who you are, and I want to teach you how to just run and sprint. So I start out with this stationary drill. It's called the wall drill, single push, which is one. I'll clap my hand and they'll push their feet back, just single. Now, but before we get into that, you have to teach your athletes the hard Z position. So this hard Z position is when we have a forward lean of 45 degrees. All right, because every race starts off. Every race should start with your athletes running at 45 degrees to get your body moving. Okay, and also we have to get this hard Z position whereas we are here and we're going to see our Z. That's our hard Z. This ankle should be flexed up, the knee should be flexed, and the hip should be flexed right here. Okay, so with the opposite leg, the same front side and back side mechanics that we talked about earlier in the module, but we have to have this 45-degree angle right here. All right, so that's called the hard Z, and we have to teach our athletes this. The moment I say, hey, everybody get in hard Z, they already know exactly what to do. They lean forward and they get into that hard Z position with those ankles up. Now, the reason why you want this ankle up here is because when you make ground contact with your ankle flexed up, you're going to actually cause what's called elastic energy. You're going to use elastic energy, such as, let's try to explain elastic energy. Elastic energy is basically the free stuff. Whereas when you hit the ground, your joints will actually spring off the ground and without actually using any of your own strength. So a quick test to do this is to take your finger on the table and just tap it up and down. Now, and just tap it as hard as you can. So, and once you tap it as hard as you can, I want you to stop and then pull your finger all the way back and then let it go. And you'll notice that when you pull your finger all the way back and let it go, you have more power, and it's a stronger tap. So it's the same thing that's in every single joint in your body, and that's why you want to have your athletes running with their ankles up. Okay, so you may have heard it before, but now you know the reason why you want to land with your ankles up, and because it could give you that spring or that bounce that everybody wants when they run. All right, so going back to the wall drill, getting your athletes in a hard Z position. So now we're here. All you're going to do is basically just clap your hands and you will see what your athletes will do. So watch this. I'm going to go ahead and press play and let's go ahead and look at this. So basically I will clap hands and they will change their feet and perform this wall drill. So they'll just move one time and that's it. Now one thing that we should be doing when you're doing a wall drill, you want to make sure that your athletes keep their hips in, okay, and not sticking their butt up in the air. Now, I would say almost all athletes when they first start this drill, they have weak cores. They can't hold the knee up. They can't hold the knee up at all. You know, this leg falls down all the time. But we have to make sure that they keep their hips pointing down, all right, and never sticking their butt in the air, all right, because when we first accelerate, we got to have the proper front side and back side mechanics, all right, meaning that our hips should be flexed on the front side here, then the back side they should be flexed, all right. So remember, doing this drill, keep the hips in and don't stick your butt up. Let's go ahead and play a little bit so you can see it again in full speed, and let's go and look at this. So basically, again, I just clap my hands and she'll change her feet and just push straight back and landing with a dorsiflexed ankle every single time. So this is called the wall drill single push. This is the first step, acceleration for everybody that comes out here. Everybody who trains with me, we have to learn how to accelerate. If you can't accelerate, then you cannot sprint. Period. All right. So this is the wall drill single push, and let's go ahead and look at the next progression in the wall drill. Alright, so the next progression in the wall drill is to do a wall drill triple push. Now in wall drill triple push, all you're going to do is basically move your feet up and back 3 times and landing on the opposite leg. Okay, so remember, we want to make sure we make ground contact behind our hips in acceleration back here, because we're trying to get our bodies moving this way. Alright, and we're going to keep ourselves in that hard Z position the entire time we're doing this drill. So the coach will basically just clap their hands, and the athlete will move their legs back and change their feet 3 times, and it should land up with the opposite leg up. So for her, having her right leg up, she will end with her left leg up with her right leg down. So let's go ahead and look at this and see this in full speed here. So I clap my hands and she change her feet 3 times, pushing this fence down or pushing the wall. It doesn't matter. And she keeps herself in triple extension here the whole time. All right. So this is called wall drill triple push. You just clap your hands and they'll change your feet doing 3 times. Now, what you don't want to see, and you will see this, you will see your athletes sticking their butt up doing this, and you see your athletes with these baby steps in between, trying to have quick feet. In acceleration, you want to make sure that you have powerful steps and not quick, short, and choppy steps. You want to have power. Now, in the beginning of every race or of every sprint, our bodies are are at our heaviest moment. So, excuse me. Since we're standing still, we have to generate a lot of strength and a lot of power. And in the beginning, that's why we got to spend more time on the ground back here, because our body's not moving yet. But as we run, our bodies become lighter, and then we have those quicker steps. So in the beginning of the run, we should spend more time on the ground than we are towards the end of the run. So in this drill, make sure that your athletes are actually bringing their foot all the way down and taking it in their knee and bringing it all the way back up, and not having quick, short, and choppy steps here. So let's look at this one more time and move on to the next progression here. So you clap your hands and they'll move their feet 3 times, and this is called wall drill triple push. This is the next progression from the single push. It is a triple push. So let's go ahead and look at 4 seconds, the wall drill, 4 seconds drill. Alright, so this is the last progression of the wall drill, and it's called the wall drill 4 seconds. Now, we all know that the drive phase is going to last from anywhere from 3 to 4 seconds, and we want to make sure that we do this drill for 4 seconds. So that's the reason why we're doing it for 4 seconds and not 5 seconds, not 6 seconds, only for 4 seconds. So in this drill, all you're going to do, you're going to tell your athletes to go, and what they're going to do, they're going to drive those feet back, push it in a pushing manner, because in the drive phase, we're going to be pushing our weight backwards to make ourselves go forward. So, and in the same time, we're going to make sure that we keep ourselves in that hard Z position the entire time. Okay, that's a quick Z, but a hard Z the entire time. So let's go ahead and press play, and let's watch her do this for 4 seconds. All right, here we go. And that's all we do basically for 4 seconds here. Just pushing it back every single time, and notice that she's not collapsing. When I say collapse, I'm talking about her hips are not coming up in the air. And let's slow this down so you can actually see every single step here. So basically, gonna go for 4 seconds, and she doesn't have short, choppy steps. She has powerful steps thrusting behind her, and she's just driving those knees up and pushing straight back behind every time. So remember, in the drive phase, contact is always behind our hips, behind our center of mass, and we're gonna be pushing behind us to make ourselves go forward in the drive phase. Also notice that her knees are never opening up more than they're never going to open up past 90 degrees here. All right. So a big problem with a lot of athletes, they'll drop this foot down or they'll open this knee up. All right. So remember, keep this knee should not open up no more than 90 degrees, and then it should immediately go straight back. All right. If the knee open up, we're wasting a lot of energy, and we shouldn't be opening up, because it's just wasted movement. All right, wasted movements makes our athletes work harder, and we don't want to work hard. We just want to run fast. All right. So going back to the speed here, and remember, she's just pushing back for 4 seconds. Let's go back to regular speed here, and that's all you would do. You just blow the whistle or clap your hands, and just have the athlete go for 4 seconds full speed to get them accustomed of the drive phase, because really that's the only amount, that's the longest that they will stay in this position here for 4 seconds. So you got to train for 4 seconds. All right. Remember, perfect form, perfect technique in this wall drill, because everything is all about doing things perfect and not just trying to do it and trying to work hard. You want to have your athletes doing it perfect, and when they're fresh. When your athletes get tired, stop them. Just stop the workout, stop the wall drill, let them rest, and do everything properly, because we want our brains to actually mimic the perfect movement pattern. If they get tired, your brain actually remembers you being tired, and you will actually run tired even when you're not tired. So that's why you want to make sure that you're always fresh when you do these exercises. So that's the wall drill for 4 seconds, and let's move on to the next drill. Alright, so the next step in teaching acceleration is called the partner push. Now in a partner push, we're gonna take the wall drill, and we're gonna actually use a partner and put that everything that we learned in the wall drill for our forward lean, and we're gonna put it in motion now. Alright, so the first thing that we have to do, we have to get ourselves again in that hard Z position, like she's in, and remember we're still gonna have our body lined up in 45 degrees here. Okay, so everything's gonna be all the same, and we're still gonna just do the wall drill, but we're gonna actually move our partner backwards. So let's go ahead and look at this in full speed here, and as you see, she's pushing, doing everything that we still do from the wall drill. Now we're just taking it to a partner push, and we're just pushing our partner back. Notice that all ground contact is behind her hips, and that we're just pushing. So that's why it's called partner pushes, and we're just getting ourselves in that phase of the wall drill and the hard Z, and just pushing back every single time. So let's slow this down just a little bit so we can actually see it, and with a better eye here. Maybe we can slow it down. Let's go. All right. So you notice she's pushing straight back, and she's landing behind those hips every single time. She's in the hard Z right now, and as she pushes back, hard Z every single time, and pushing straight back. All right. This is a very great exercise, but you can't start here. You have to do the wall drill first, and once they can do the wall drill, then you move to the partner pushes. So this is obviously the best thing for them right now, and it teaches them exactly how, and they can actually feel it of actually moving. How does it feel to accelerate properly? But this is the obviously next step from wall drill, partner pushes. Very fun exercise. Just make sure that your kids' hips stay up and that they lean as they push behind them. So that's the partner push. Alright, so now that your athletes can properly do a wall drill, and they can properly do partner pushes, now it's time to go ahead and add some resistance, and we're going to do what's called power sprinters. Now, power sprinters is basically a resistant band that you attach to both of your arms and both of your legs, and you're going to get yourself in that hard Z position, and you're gonna basically just push back as you're accelerating. So let's go ahead and look at this in full speed motion, so we can get an understanding of how this looks. So, and you notice her mechanics are the same as in the wall drill. Her mechanics are the same as in partner pushes, and it will be the same in the same way in power sprinters. I'm gonna slow it down so you can actually see her mechanics, and you can see everything and how it looks exactly the same here. Now the power sprinters. The moment we get to this part of my training, in acceleration, that the athletes they've already mastered how to accelerate, and now we just really working on our strength, and we're really accelerating very fast because we're getting stronger with these power sprinters. This is probably one of my best toys to teach, but you can't just throw athletes in it and expect them to actually run correctly with it. You have to learn everything as far as the hard Z, from the wall drill to partner pushes, and the last step will be here. So this is obviously a great toy, a great tool for each coach or a parent to have for the athletes. But you must learn how to teach the skills before you get here. Okay, so again, you can buy this equipment and you can use it, and you won't get the right benefits from it. You may see some kind of benefits, but if you're not learning how to actually apply force to the ground, you won't reap the best benefits from it. All right, so this is called the power sprinters. It's the same as wall drill, partner pushes, and now you just putting it in full speed, full motion, and you're just putting everything together, and now your athlete should be able to accelerate properly. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the last thing that we will do. But I can't say last thing, but and that would be heel sprinting, which you would do heel sprinting the entire time when you're doing wall drill and all that too. Just to go ahead and teach those mechanics. So let's go ahead and look at um, heel sprinting. All right, so now we're looking at heel sprinting. Now, believe it or not, I know it sounds simple. You know, you just sprint up a hill and that should be it. But actually, there's a technique to running heels. All right, so remember we have gone over the wall drill, and we know about that. We have to make ground contact behind our hips. We have to be in the hard Z position, and we have to have a triple extension after every ground contact. So now, when you're running these heels, our body wants to be leaning at 45 degrees because we're working on acceleration, and we should be in a hard Z position, and we should be actually making ground contact behind us. Now, the whole importance of heel sprinting is to get our bodies accustomed to using our acceleration mechanics properly. So, meaning that we should be pushing back with short bounds, okay, up the hill. Because when we sprint, we don't want to have short and choppy steps, and just these quick little movements when we first start, and whereas you move your feet so fast that you're just using so much energy, but you haven't gone anywhere. So the real key to acceleration is to use the less amount of energy and get the most bang for your buck as far as your energy and as far as covering more ground with less energy. That's the whole purpose of acceleration. You want to get as far as you can without using that much energy. So that's why we're going to learn how to sprint hills, or we want to say bound up hills. Alright, so we're going to look at her, and as you notice, she's in the hard Z position right now. She's at 45 degrees here. She's at 45 degrees, and she's in the hard Z position. Now, from here, this foot is going to come straight back, and it's going to push straight down to the ground, and she's going to do it, that wall drill or the partner push drill. Everything is all coming all together. So let's look at it, and let's watch her as we go. And you see the foot came down. This other one is coming up, and it's going to switch and get back to the other hard Z position. Now we're in the hard Z, and she should push straight back as she floats, and she comes right underneath her hips again and pushes straight down, and she just bounds up the hill every single time, bounding up the hill, pushing straight back. And that front leg is not going past 90 degrees. She may come out a little slightly, but she's not perfect. But she's not. It goes 90 degrees, and then she pushes straight down, and we're just gonna bound up the hill the entire time here. So let's go ahead and look at this going full speed. And we don't want our athletes just to be sprinting up the hill with all these short choppy steps. We want them actually bounding up the hill. So let's go ahead and watch this full speed, and so you can get an understanding of how this really looks. So it's fast, but she's not taking a lot of steps. So she's getting up this hill in about 7 steps, whereas an individual that just beginning, they will take maybe 20 or 30 steps, and she's getting up in 7 steps. So she's not getting tired, but she's covering the same ground at the same speed. And so if towards the end of the race she's not tired, she is well rested, but she's covered so much ground without using any kind of effort, she will pull off of most athletes. So the whole key to this is just springing off the ground, short bounds, because running is nothing but bounding from your left leg to the right leg. That's sprinting, that's running, that's jogging. That's what running is. It's balancing on one foot and balancing on the other foot. So that's how you do heel sprints, short bounds, push back, the same running mechanics that you learn in wall drill and partner push. Just remember hard Z and push straight back behind you and land behind your hips. That's acceleration. Alright, so now that we can teach acceleration, let's go ahead and look at how to teach max velocity mechanics. So the first thing about teaching anything, remember, you have to teach from simple to complex, meaning that each drill will progress to the next drill to achieve a desired goal. Alright, so our goal is to get our kids able to fly run for about 30 to 40 meters. Okay, that's the main goal. All right, so we're gonna hold our top speed for about 3 to 4 seconds. So that's about 30 to 40 meters. So before we can do that, we have to start with the ankle march. And the ankle march is basically just taking your heel and lifting it up and putting it right back down. But you're only raising your heel up to the ankle and back down. So then we're gonna go to an ankle run, meaning that I'm just going to run, bringing my feet as high as my ankle. Okay, the A march, same thing. But now instead of going to the ankle, we're gonna go to the opposite knee. So we're gonna lift our foot over the knee, and then once we can march, then we're gonna go to the A run drill, all right? Which is basically lifting your feet straight up above the knee, and then you're gonna drive it straight down. And then once you can do that, do an A run, you can pretty much do a fly run. All right. So but you have to start out with a march to a run to the march to the run, and then now you can do fly runs. All right. So let's go ahead and look at these drills in progression and learn how we can teach these to our athletes so they can learn how to hold their top speed for as long as they desire. Alright, so this is the first drill that we're going to use. It's called the A march with no arms. Now, we're going to use no arms just for the fact that we want to keep everything simple and want our athletes only thinking about their lower bodies. Because when you add the arms in, a whole lot of things can go on in their brain, and then they just can't do it. Alright, so we're going to just keep everything simple. Remember, all our drills need to go from simple to complex all the time. When you're teaching any kind of skill, any kind of drill, simple to complex. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and go over the top speed mechanics or mass velocity mechanics. Now, we are no longer trying to lean and at 45 degrees. We are now at the point where our body is at the upright position now. So our main goal now is not landing back here with ground contact. Our objective now is to land underneath our hips every single time. We want to land underneath those hips every single time. Alright, so in order to do that, we have to raise our feet up and push it straight down, right back down to the ground with each pound. Okay, so this is a drill. It's very easy, and it's very easy to do. Let's go ahead and put it in motion, and let's see how this works here. So all we're gonna do here is just pick those feet straight up and push it straight down. You will see your kids and athletes kind of step forward because it's a natural habit to reach out and walk forward, whereas to apply force directly underneath your hips to push yourself forward. So if they kind of throw you off a little bit, let me show you what I mean here. Okay, so a lot of people, they're all to land where everybody walks out in front. Okay, but when you run and you step out in front of your body, you're actually slowing yourself down. So that's not what we want when we at top speed. We want to keep that same speed going the whole time. So we have to land underneath our hips. Okay, so the whole key to learning how to ankle march is just to pick that foot up, pick the foot up, pick the foot up, and push it straight back down and apply force to the ground that's underneath you to cause yourself to move forward. All right. So that's the whole purpose. It's not about reaching far for a big stride. The stride comes from you applying force to the ground. All right. So we're gonna pick the foot up, and then you're gonna drive force to the ground very hard, and that will cause you to keep your momentum and keep yourself going forward. All right. So let's go ahead and let it play some more. But this is the ankle march here. Now the ankle march. Remember, hands on your hips. And you're just going to pick those feet up and keep the heels off of the ground. Alright, because remember, we're going to land with our ankles flexed up the whole time. Remember, the hard is E. It's all the same mechanics, but now instead of leaning, we are upright. So this is the ankle march with no arms. This is the first drill that we always teach. It's a low movement, but you will notice that your kids will have a hard time doing this drill. It's very simple, but they will have a very difficult time doing this simple task of ankle march. All right, remember the ankles will go heel over ankle, heel over ankle, heel over ankle, heel over ankle. Very small movement, but again, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be funny when you see your kids or you see your son or your daughter doing this drill and they can't do it. But just gonna pick those ankles and circle them. Actually, take your opposite heel and circle your ankle. That's what's called ankling. Ankle drill. You're just gonna pick those heels and circle your ankle bone, and push straight down. And notice she's lifting that foot up and she's pushing straight down, straight down, straight down. All right. So that's the ankle march with no arms. Alright, so now that your athletes can do an ankle march with no arms, now it's going to simply just add arms into it. Remember, we're going to use proper arm action mechanics, whereas our hands are going from cheek to cheek, and we are just doing the same thing as we did with no arms, but we're just adding our arms into it. So this is the ankle march with arms, just driving those elbows back. But the main purpose of this drill is to make sure that we lift our feet straight up and we do not land out in front. So we're just going to push straight down to the ground, driving those elbows straight back, and just doing a ankle march and adding the arms in it. So this is the ankle march. If your kids can do it without arms, then usually they can add the arms in, and then they won't have to worry about it. But this is a very cool drill. But it's very simple, and the main purpose of this is adding the arms in, so it becomes more of a natural thing. Just remember, the heels will circle the ankle bone and driving those elbows straight back. So that is the ankle march with arms. Alright, so now that we can do an ankle march with the arms, now we go ahead and start do the ankle run with no arms. Okay, so the same progression, but now we're going to move at a faster tempo. Now in this drill, we do the same thing as we did in the march, but we're just going to actually move those feet over faster and pick them up as fast as possible. Okay, so hands on your hips, the body will be in a straight line, in an upright position, with a slight forward lean, but you're going to just circle those ankles again, but as fast as possible, just picking those feet straight up and down. Alright, a lot of kids will try to shuffle their feet, but remember, pick your feet straight up and down, straight up, and then push it right back down. But we're just going heel over ankle, same thing, but now we're just going fast. Okay, so this is the ankle run with no arms. Alright, so now that we can do an ankle run without arms, so now we're going to just simply add arms and do an ankle run with arms. So let's go ahead and play this and just see this. Now all you're going to do is just throw those elbows back, and remember, you're going to circle those heel over ankle every single time. I'm going to slow her down so you can actually see her footsteps, and so you can see ground contact here. So because her legs are moving so fast. And again, you see as I slowed her down, she's still making ground contact right but underneath her hips the whole time. She has a slight lean forward, and she's just circling those ankles. So she has low feet, so her hands are low. As you see, when we get to the A march and the A run, the hands will go cheek to cheek because now we're bringing our feet a little higher. But since we're still doing ankle run, your hands are still not as high because your feet are pretty low. Okay, so again, the biggest thing with this drill is to make sure that your athletes are landing underneath their hips and not shuffling their feet side to side, or front and backwards. Remember, pick your feet straight up and down and drive it into the ground underneath you. Okay, so I'm gonna speed it up one more time here, and so you can see it going full speed. And that's how the drill should look. Rapid feet, fast feet. It's quick and quiet. You shouldn't be able to hear it slapping on the ground. Alright, ankles stay dorsiflexed up the whole time, and again, your body is upright with a slight forward lean. And this is the ankle run with arms. Alright, so now that we can properly do an ankle run, now it's time to go ahead and go over the A march. Now in A march, all you're going to do is just lift your foot up and land underneath your hips, but you're going to take your heel now, instead of going over the ankle, you're going to go over the knee. So you're going to step over the knee and drive your foot straight down to land underneath your hips every single time. So your hands on your hips, but now instead of going over ankles, you're just going to raise your heel, your opposite foot, and take it over the opposite knee. Okay, so this is called A march. Again, we want to make sure that we're in our heart Z position, but our body is in the upright position now. So we no longer are we talking about acceleration. We're trying to maintain our top speed. And again, we're going to just step over those knees and drive the foot straight down. This is the A march. Alright, so now that we can do an A march with no arms, obviously we're going to go to an A march with arms. Now the hands are going cheek to cheek again, and we're going to pick those feet straight up, and we're just going to march straight and pick that foot up and straight up and down, and make sure that we're landing underneath our hips every single time. This is the next step, so you can't jump here. Some athletes can go ahead and start doing this, but it's a lot easier to go ahead and start with each progression. So this is the A march with arms. Remember, elbows going straight back, hands going cheek to cheek. Make sure your athletes are in that hard Z position, but they're upright and they're landing underneath their hips and pushing pushing the ground underneath them. So one cue I always use is step over the knee, step over, step over. Because when it's time for the A run or for fly runs, you want to have a cue, and my cue is to step over the opposite knee. So in this drill, just teach them to take the opposite heel and step over the opposite knee and push down to the ground. Drive that foot down to the ground hard. All right, so this is the A march with arms. All right, so now that we can perform a proper A march, now it's time to go ahead and do an A run. In the A run, all we're gonna do, put your hands on your hips, and you're gonna pick those feet up and down, and stepping over the knees and driving the foot down into the ground with a lot of force here. Okay, we're gonna land with a flex foot. I'm gonna slow her down a little bit so you can see it because she's moving pretty fast. And you're gonna see her kind of springing as if she's kind of floating on top of the ground, and that's how you want to look when you get into the fly run or the A run. So this is the A run. She's stepping over the knees and she's landing underneath her hips every single time. She still has a slight forward lean, but you're just gonna remember, just gonna pick those feet straight up and down and land underneath your hips. All right. This is not called high knees. This is called the A run because the moment you say high knees, the athletes are going to lean backwards and start picking their knees up. But we're going to focus on their feet. The feet need to go over the opposite knee, over the opposite knee, over the opposite knee. All right, at a very fast rate. Okay, so speed it back up again, and this is the A run with no arms. All right, so now that we can do an A run without arms, we're going to go ahead and do an A run with arms, and basically we're going to drive the same mechanics as no arms. Just going to add the arms in. We're actually picking driving our elbows straight back, but we're still landing underneath our hips every single time. Let's slow it down again. Look at this here, slow motion. Same thing, as you notice, she is stepping over those knees. Just are we doing the same thing as the A run with no arms, just adding our arms into it. All right, so this is the last progression right before we're ready to go ahead and start to attempt to do a fly run. So we can't do a fly run until your athletes can do an A run properly. Okay, because a fly run is basically going to hold your top speed and for a certain distance, but you have to use these mechanics right here in the A run to perform that drill. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the fly run. All right, so now we're at the fly run. Our athletes, they can do a run properly, and now it's time to go ahead and teach the fly run. Now the fly run is basically, you have a fly zone of about 30 to 40 meters, but you will start out maybe 10 to 20 meters depending on who you're training. But all you're trying to do is trying to build your speed up, and once you reach the first cone, you should be at top speed, and you're gonna try to hold that top speed until you reach the last cone, which is the end of the fly zone. So in the beginning, you'll give your athletes a distance from here, from right there, and that's about 30 meters. Some athletes, it takes maybe 25 meters or so. All right, but about 30 meters to kind of pick your speed up. And this section right here is not important at all. Okay, just as long as the athlete is at top speed by the time they reach this first cone right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at her do a fly run, and let's see how she does it. Okay, now she approaches, she picks her speed up, and now she's at top speed mechanics. She's no longer leaning, and now she's upright. So let's go ahead, and you're gonna hear a lot of clicks here. I'm just gonna show you the mechanics. So now she's at the cone. She's at top speed. She's going to be landing underneath her hips every single time. And see, she does this naturally, and she's kind of overstriding a little bit, but you know, every athlete is not the same. And back when she ran, she did it a lot better than this. But this is the fly run, and she's actually landing underneath her hips, and actually she's underneath her hips right now. So this is the fly run. All you're going to do is do that A run very fast in between the zone. You will maintain your top speed for as long as you can. Now you will change the distance between the cone. I usually start out at about 10 meters, so I have them do a 10-meter A run, and then I'll increase the distance from 20 meters to 30 meters, and then have some guys who can do 40 meters. All right, but it's all about getting them to get used to holding their top speed. So the more that they do fly runs, the easier the fly run will be every single time. I'm just gonna let this play now. The more they do it, the easier it will be for them, and they can hold their top speed for a longer time, and they won't get tired, and they won't decelerate, and it would appear as if they're not slowing down, and the other runners are. It would appear that they're getting faster, and the other runners are getting slower, whereas both athletes are getting slower, but it's just that they can maintain their top speed for a longer time than anybody else that's running. So this drill basically it teaches your athlete and to hold their top speed for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, or whatnot. But the more you do it, obviously, the better you get at it. And but you start out with about 10 meters, and then you increase the fly zone with 20 meters and 30 meters and 40 meters and so on. All right, great. This is one of the biggest ones. It's hard. It's hard to get your athletes to step over those knees like that, but they have to go through those progressions to reach this point where they can actually do this properly. Okay, so remember, the whole cue during the fly zone is step over your knees, step over your knees, step over your knees, step over your knees. Okay, so that's the fly zone, and that's it.